Brothers and sisters, Alhamdulillah, for the last few days I have been explaining the meaning of Iman and Islam, and I made it clear that in this religion there is nothing without understanding and thinking. So Iman and Islam both needs understanding and thinking, and I also emphasize that Iman and Islam are not something that you can inherit. For example, people inherit from their fathers their property and many things. But you cannot inherit Iman Islam. For every single person, they have to start from beginning. So it could be that your father was a very pious person, very good believer, very strong in Islam. But when you start your life, you can't start from where your father stopped. You have to start from the beginning. Everybody has to start from very beginning in Islam and Iman. You can see the life of all the companions and the prophets from very beginning. All the messengers, when they come, they start from very beginning. So we have to start from the beginning. And the beginning is what? Understanding and thinking. So people cannot be believer or they cannot be full Muslim unless they start thinking, what this life is, what it means. And what can help you to understand thinking, the stories of the prophets and messengers. Because they are thinkers, how they used to think. And especially Ibrahim alayhi salam, because in the Quran he is the example for believers in Iman and Islam both. What Allah wants from you is Iman of Ibrahim and Islam of Ibrahim. And this is so dear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that after Ibrahim, any messenger who came, they have been commanded to follow Ibrahim in Iman Islam both. Even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Quran, once explaining the meaning of Iman Islam, Quran says, ثُمَّ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ أَنِ اتَّبِعْ مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا. O Prophet Muhammad, then we reveal to you that you must follow the way of Ibrahim. Ibrahim's way is the example. Every prophet, every messenger, Musa alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam, and then Maryam alayhi salam, Zakaria alayhi salam, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, everybody has to follow the way of Ibrahim. Ibrahim's way is in Iman, Hanifiyya. Hanif means to turn away from everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now we Muslims, we turn to everything. We want to be like other people. And you can see really that, when you leave the house, when Muslims leave the house, then they say Assalamu alaikum. And unbelievers, they say good morning or good evening, good afternoon. This is a difference you can see very clearly. When Muslims say Assalamu alaikum and other people don't say Assalamu alaikum. But when we come to home, there's no difference between us and them. We want to have a nice home like them. We want to enjoy the life in the house as they have. There's no difference. So this is not how Ibrahim Islam had been. Ibrahim Islam's house was different from this house. His concern was different. That's why in the Quran it is said in Surah Al-Buruj, not in Surah Al-Buruj, Surah Al-Shiqaq, Quran mentions that in the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give to unbelievers their book of the deed in the left hand or in the Bible. And they will be thrown in the hellfire. The reason Quran says why? إِنَّهُ كَانَ فِي أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا, because he was happy in his family. The reason the people will go to hellfire is because they were happy in their family. They want to enjoy the family. We want to have a house like a nice house. We want to have, we want to please our family in the way as unbelievers do. We want to bring everything that they want. I can see really in the Western style of life actually is this. You can see the difference between us and them is not very big. The only difference is we people use Islamic terms. We have Islamic identity, some Islamic words. MashaAllah, Inshallah, Alhamdulillah. But in the way of life, we have same way of life as unbelievers. There is no difference. The Quran says the reason people will be in hellfire because they were happy in their family. إِنَّهُ كَانَ فِي أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا, happy. While the Quran mentioned about in Surah Tur about the believers who will go to paradise, the Quran says the reason they go to paradise is Quran says إِنَّا كُنَّا مِنْ قَبْلُ فِي أَهْلِنَا مُشْفِقِينَ. In our family, we were scared. We were all the time in the fear. Believers, when they come to their house, they are scared. Unbelievers, when they come to the house, they are happy. So this difference must remain there. Our difference only outside, not inside. Ibrahim alayhi salam's family was not family of enjoyment. No, family of fear. All the time scared that what will happen to them. Children are there. Are they going to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? They are not going to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the time thinking, understanding. But we think really, whatever our family asks, just bring that. Whatever wives and children they demand, just bring them and make them happy. That how what we are. This is not the duty. The duty is really to create fear of Allah in the heart of your family, to make them to realize that this world they are for a temporary purpose. The real thing is that they have to worship their Lord and to obey properly, to understand this properly. Ibrahim alayhi salam's example is to remind you that in your family, don't be happy. Don't celebrate every single thing. Always keep thinking that what will happen to your family. That's why Quran mentioned about this great family of Ibrahim, Ismail, Ibrahim and all his family very nicely in Surah Al-Baqarah, when Quran said, وَوَصَّى بِهَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ بَنِيهِ وَيَعْقُوبُ يَا بَنِيَّ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَى لَكُمُ الدِّينَ فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. This religion of Iman Islam, this religion of Hanifiyya, it is a religion so dear to Ibrahim and his family that when Ibrahim was dying, he made a will for his children. And also his grandson Yaqub, when he was dying, he left a will to his children. Ya Baniya, inna Allah astafa lakum ad-din. O my children, Allah has chosen for you the way of life. What will be your way of life? Allah has chosen. Your way of life is not to be happy, to celebrate, to enjoy the life. This is not your way of life. Your way of life Allah has chosen. What is that way of life? فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Don't die unless you are in the full submission to Allah. Meaning is when you come to home, think really, what is the command of my Lord? What He wants me to do at home? How He wants me to raise my children? What should be my worry? What should be my thinking? So the way of the family of Ibrahim is different from the way of anybody else. So that keep in mind. That's actually it is very, very important to understand that there are two ways of life in Islam. Please come. So what I'm reminding, including myself and all of you, that try to understand that this religion is a religion of Ibrahim and Islam, in Iman and Islam both. He is the example for the believers in Iman and also in Islam. And his Iman and Islam both are based on thinking and understanding properly. That's why it starts with Hanifiyya, to turn away from everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibrahim and Islam is not happy with what everybody else become happy. Ibrahim and Islam is not pleased with what people are pleased. Ibrahim does not celebrate the life as the people celebrate the life. Ibrahim, when he comes to his house, he has concern. He thinks. He does not want to just bring some enjoyment to the house. Not like the people of hellfire, when the Quran says about them, إِنَّهُ كَانَ فِي أَهْلِهِ مَسُورًا. When the people of the hellfire, they come to house, they are happy. Ibrahim's house is house of concern, thinking, understanding properly, to think really what will happen to my future generation. So Quran mentioned that when Ibrahim was dying, and also his grandson Yaqub, both made a will to their children. Ya Baniya, inna Allah astafa lakum ad-din. Oh my children, Allah has chosen the way of life for you. Your way of life should be different from everybody else. Everybody wants to enjoy their life, eat and drink. They want to make their children happy, but not you. Your way of life is different. What your way of life is? فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Your way of life is full submission to Allah. For every single thing, think really what Allah commands. When your child is born, think what Allah commands. Not actually when he becomes 1 year old, then you make a birthday party. Second, 2-year-old birthday party, 3-year-old birthday party, 10-year-old birthday party, to make him always happy. This is not the way. It's actually making him to not realize the world. Because when your child becomes 10-year-old, tell me what did he achieve? He's becoming 10-year-old. It's actually natural. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's Allah what he does. After 10 years, everybody will become 10-year-old. After 15 years, everybody, whether people sleep or people waste their time or do something, after 15 years, they'll be 15-year-old. What you have done. And now you make a celebration, so your child will be thinking that things are celebrated without doing anything. You can celebrate without doing anything. Because he's being 10-year-old, nothing to do with him, from him. That is wrong thing in the mind goes. Allah wants you to be happy for the things that you go. That's why Quran says, La tafrah inna Allah la yuhibbul farihin. Don't celebrate. Allah does not like the people who celebrate. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قل بفضل الله ورحمته فبذلك فليفرحوا. But when Allah's favor come, then you should celebrate. Meaning is what? If your child learns how to pray, if he fasts one day, then make celebration. That in this long day my child has started fasting, I should make some celebration. If your child starts reading the Quran or finish the Quran or memorize the Quran, make celebration. Then he realizes that celebration comes when you achieve something, not without achievement. And that's how Allah made the world. When people achieve something, then there's celebration. The Quran makes very clear, لا تفرح إن الله لا يحب الفرحين. Don't celebrate things which you don't achieve, or you do achieve, but which actually is not your concern. Allah did not command you. Don't celebrate those things. But celebrate what? Allah's favor. قل بفضل الله ورحمته فبذلك فليفرحوا. People should celebrate, but when Allah's mercy comes, His favor comes upon you, you do something. Ibrahim alayhi salam and Yaqub alayhi salam, both of them, they made very clear to their family. Don't celebrate, don't be happy, don't be among the people who were masroor in their family. Innu kana fi ahli masura. Rather, think, understand, be worried, fear, concern that how can I live in life of full submission to my Lord. And then the Quran mentioned the detail the story of Yaqub alayhi salam, and the Quran said, "Am kuntum shuhada'a idha hadara Yaqub al-maut." Were you present when the death came to Yaqub alayhi salam? إذ قال لبنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي. When you see, really is great story of a great family. Family is really chosen family. The Prophet ﷺ once asked, who is Kareem, Ibn Kareem, Ibn Kareem, Ibn Kareem? The people know that. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, Yusuf ibn Yaqub, ibn Ishaq, ibn Ibrahim. Chosen family. Ibrahim is great messenger and Imam. Then his son Ishaq, and his another son Ismail, and Ishaq's son Yaqub, and Yaqub's son Yusuf. Chosen family. And one man from this chosen family, Yaqub, he is dying. Last moment of his life has come. So all the family members are there, the men, the women, the children, grandchildren, and even one son is prophet. Yusuf is messenger. Quran says about him is messenger. He is also there. All the people are there. This chosen family, and Yaqub alayhi salam is the Imam. He is going to leave his last word. Now everybody wants to listen the last word of their father. In any ordinary family, not only prophet's family, any family, if the great man of the family dies, people are very keen to carry out his will, whatever he commands. And now everybody, they are concerned to listen. What our concern is, when I die, I will be thinking really, after my death, what my children are going to eat. How many houses I leave for them. So when I die, they are fine the houses. I leave some business for them. I leave some cars for them. That's my concern is. But this great man, who also has family, he has children, he knows also that his children need to eat and drink. But his concern is not that. He's not worried like us. What he said to his children, all of them, Ma ta'buduna min ba'di. After my death, what are you going to worship? When he was alive, he really made sure that everybody worshipped Allah alone. In his house, nobody worshipped other than Allah. No obedience except to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Full submission to Allah. Allah's command, actually the only command, has respect in his house. He knows no fashion, nothing from the people who are stars. No. In his house, the only example of the Prophet's messenger, and only command people need to obey is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command. That actually he always knew. But when he died, his concern is maybe after my death, my children change. Whose concern is this? A man who is a messenger. Are we messengers? Are we prophets? Are our parents prophets? Do we have family as the prophets? Why we don't have this concern? Why is it that our concern is not so like these people's concern? Though they are chosen people, in their family there is no problem. In their family idols are not worshipped. Why is it so much concern? That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to tell us really. This story is so great to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah in the Quran does not mention anybody's death or the will unnecessarily. The Quran has mentioned the story of Ibrahim and Yaqub when they dying so clearly. To remind us, to make very clear to our mind really. This is what the Quran said, Yaqub said, Ma ta'buduna min ba'd. Oh my children, what I go to worship after my death. And he cannot die unless he listens from it properly. So they say, قالوا نعبد إلهك وإله آبائك إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق إله واحد. Then all of them say, oh our father, how can you ask us this question? We are your son, your children. We grow up, with learning from you. نعبد إلهك, we will worship your ilah, your ma'bud. Ma'bud of your father Ibrahim, Ismail, Ishaq. One ilah. There's no other ilah in our mind. We have only one ilah. وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ, and we have full submission to him. So you consider it in the Quran, whenever the word is Islam and Muslim comes, it always comes for the real meaning. Islam comes for the meaning of submission, and Muslim comes for the meaning of the people who surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islam, Quran never uses Islam with capital I. Quran always uses Islam with small I. Similarly, when Quran does not use Muslim with capital M, always with small m. Try to understand, because religion to Allah is not identity. Religion actually is understanding, thinking and believing and then action. Submission to Allah. Religion, not that you say I'm Muslim. Religion really is to surrender, to have full submission to Allah. That's why Allah does not like really people who just have belonging the religion. Belonging and identity, they are not Allah's religion. You are not a Muslim because you belong to Muslim community. You are Muslim because you consciously, properly, understandingly, thinkingly surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is no doubt really great story of these prophets, and we need to remember. So inshallah, I stop here tomorrow, and I'll explain what I promised earlier, last week, that how difficulties and the problems in the life, they also are something for which believers need to thank and praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I stop here. If you have any question, please ask.
With all that you've said today, I feel like I can take that now, and I'm mindful of it now. When we go back to our homes, we've all got different environments, families, and often when you're trying to strive in this almost being strange, or you can appear to be harsh in the way that you're with your kids, for pressure from family, things like that. What would your advice be for staying a balance, I guess, if a balance is needed, of being strong in your intention of doing everything you just said right now, but also dealing with your family members kindly when they're looking at you saying, you're being harsh. You've got a lot of pressure from family on the way that you want to live and the way that you want to bring your children up, for example.
Yeah, the thing is, I have been mentioning all the time, doer in this world is only Allah. Allah is the one who does. And but He has sent certain commands to us. What He wants from us is the effort. We make effort, and the result will be in His hand. So that's why we should do effort in all the efforts gently and kindly. We should not seen from us as we are desperate. Always with calmness. Like when Allah sent Musa alayhi salam and Harun alayhi salam to Fir'aun, said, "Qula lahu qawlan layyinan." Speak with Fir'aun gently, softly, nicely. Allah's command. To always follow the right procedure. Meaning, do things the way Allah has commanded people to do. Follow the right procedure and don't rush. Do sabr, wait for the result, and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because why we lose the sabr? Because we want a result. And if we don't see that, we become to lose our person. The result is not in your hand. Actually, it could be that you follow procedure properly, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings by something in your house, more barakah from somewhere else. He just wants to see effort from you. We believers, we don't make effort. The problem is actually not that Allah does not want you to make your family believers. This is not your command. Allah does not want to make your family perfect. Allah wants you in your family to follow the right procedure. Following the procedure is that command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning is, you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have some mission, invite your family, teach them properly, make them happy, but teach them properly, right procedure, and don't lose your patience. Even if they don't listen to you. Yaqub alayhi salam, think really, in the same story, his sons throw one of his sons in the well. Did he lose his patience? Did he ask them to leave my house? Did he sack them? He never sacked them. He lived with them until the last month when they repent. And it took many, many years. But he never lose patience, never asked them to leave the house. That's what we need really. Some people actually, ask their children to leave the house. I said, no, Yaqub alayhi salam, so many years remains with them, and they never accept that they have done a mistake. But one day, when they repent, then you can see it takes sometimes 10, 20, 30, 40 years to repent for the people. The only simple thing in this matter is always make effort to write the procedure. Procedure means do in every moment what Allah commands and then do sabr. Wait the result from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think we should go for play.
That was a bit fast. There's time for one more question.
Okay.
If there are any more questions? Tomorrow the last day, so the opportunities to ask questions are few.
No, inshallah, Shaykh Ibrahim will continue, inshallah. We'll continue.
So we'll leave it there, inshallah.